Drop a comment right now, one word. What do you think happens when the most advanced air defense system in the Middle East meets a weapon its builders never imagined? Because what you're about to hear isn't theory. This is March 2026, one night, 3 hours, and 40 years of Iranian military deterrence gone. It started with a decision that felt like strength. 3:09 a.m., Northern Persian Gulf. The MV Ariel Star, a U.S.-flagged, Israeli-linked commercial tanker, detects two fast-moving contacts on surface radar. No transponders. No response. The watch officer reaches for the radio. He never makes the call. Two Iranian unmanned explosive boats strike the hull in rapid succession. The ship lists. Hull breach alarms scream. By 3:12 a.m., it's confirmed the IRGCN just attacked a vessel with direct ties to Israel, inside waters patrolled by the U.S. Fifth Fleet. Tehran called it a message, a calibrated show of force. It was a starting gun. Respect what Iran actually constructed because the U.S. military certainly did. The Bavar 373 air defense system scans 200-plus nautical miles. Paired with Khordad, 1.5 and Mersad batteries operating on different frequency bands Jam 1, the others stay live. Beneath the Zagros Mountains, the IRGC carved reinforced bunkers housing Noor and Qaidar anti-ship missiles. Invisible to satellites, invisible to aircraft, just rock until the doors opened. The plan: strike the tanker, force U.S. naval assets into the shallow Gulf, trap American submarines in 50-meter water where Iran's Yono-class midget submarines were already waiting with heavyweight torpedoes. Did you know Iran had underground missile bunkers inside mountains? Comment below, most people have no idea. Brilliant strategy. One fatal flaw. The wall had already been mapped from the inside. Weeks before the attack, Israeli Unit 8200, the NSA, and Britain's GCHQ completed something that should have been impossible. They cracked the frequency-hopping logic of Iran's entire tactical communications network. Not from satellites, from a human source. A regional intelligence officer who decided the cost of silence was higher than the cost of truth. He handed over the sheet music to Iran's encrypted radio silence. With that key, the coalition didn't just see the wall. They saw every wire, every relay node, every weakness. When the Ariel Star burned, they didn't panic. They waited, watching Iranian radar operators activate their systems to full combat power, screaming their precise locations to every allied receiver in the region. Tehran thought they were setting a trap. They were walking into one. 3:25 a.m. No missiles, no aircraft, just code. U.S. Cyber Command and Unit 8200 injected a ghost loop into the Bavar 373 network. Iranian radar screens looked completely normal civilian traffic, routine transponders. But beneath the display, the software had been quietly instructed to ignore the flight profile of an F-35C. America's most advanced fighter was now invisible, not just physically, but digitally erased from Iran's own computers. Simultaneously, the IRGCN's Yono-class submarines lost contact with shore command. They sat paralyzed on the Gulf floor, blind, deaf, waiting for orders that would never come. 3:45 a.m. Dozens of ADM-160 MALD decoy drones crossed the horizon, each one mimicking the radar return of a full-size American aircraft. Iranian operators, already rattled, saw what looked like a massive alpha strike inbound. They fired. Sayed. 4 interceptors, roughly $1.5 million each, chased $150,000 decoys across empty sky. Iran burned through a significant portion of its interceptor reserve in under 30 minutes. Are you seeing the trap now? Like this video if you do, because the next part is where it gets brutal. Then came the EA-18G Growlers. Their jamming pods fired focused electromagnetic beams at the Bavar 373 arrays. Iranian screens went white. And the AGM-88G-AARGM-ER arrived, a missile with 3 kill modes. Radar on, it homes on emissions. Radar off, it remembers your last coordinates. Final approach, it activates its own seeker and finds the physical shape of your truck. Turn it on, you die. Turn it off, you die. 8 missiles launched at 4:15 a.m. The Bavar 373 batteries disappeared from the electromagnetic spectrum in clusters. Here's what most people miss entirely. 40 minutes before the cyber operation even began, before the decoys, before the jamming, an Ohio-class submarine had already started its launch sequence deep beneath the Gulf of Oman. Because Tomahawk Block V missiles fly at 550 miles per hour, they needed a head start. Their targets, GPS confirmed using human intelligence, were the ventilation shafts of Iran's underground mountain bunkers. Not the blast doors. The ventilation shafts. That's how precise the intelligence was. At 4:32 a.m., the strikes hit simultaneously across multiple Iranian coastal sites. The Noor and Qatar missiles meant to swarm the U.S. Navy never saw open sky. They were buried under millions of tons of rock. The Bandar Abbas fastboat pens, origin of the drones that struck the aerial star, ceased to exist. 40 years of strategic infrastructure, gone before sunrise. 5:50 a.m. The IRGCN is finished, but Tehran orders one final strike. Iran's regular military pushes mobile Fateh 110 ballistic missile launchers toward the coast. Mach 4. Near vertical terminal descent, aimed at the USS Gerald R. Ford. The logic. One missile on a carrier flight deck. One headline. Force a ceasefire. The Aegis combat system detected the launches within seconds via infrared. SM-6 interceptors rose from vertical launch cells, active seekers on board, hunting independently. At 6:04 a.m., the intercepts happened at altitude. To sailors on the Ford's deck, it looked like distant stars blinking out. 4 flashes. Then nothing. Iran's revenge cost them their remaining precision ballistic missile stocks. It achieved 0 results. By 6:30 a.m., it was over. The aerial star was under escort. The IRGCN's coastal fortress was rubble. The midget submarines were being hunted by P-8 Poseidon aircraft, dropping sonobuoy curtains across every exit route. The hunters had nowhere to go. Iran wasn't defeated by firepower. It was defeated by sequence, by intelligence shared across 3 allied nations, by a human source who made one decision. By cyber operations that made Iran's radars blind to the aircraft they were built to destroy. Here's my question, and I want your answer right now in the comments. Was Iran's strategy fundamentally sound but simply outclassed? Or was the wall always an illusion the moment the US had the keys? Because that answer determines everything about what happens next in the Middle East. The wall is rubble. The sequence is complete. The next conflict won't be won by who has the most missiles. It'll be won by whoever sees the board most clearly. Full breakdown of SM-6 versus hypersonic threats dropping next.
The incoming missile achieves a direct hit on the ventilation access point, ensuring the neutralization of the target.
Despite their buried location deep within the coastal rock, the missile silos have been successfully targeted and neutralized. A sequence of coordinated strikes has neutralized the threat. The Bandar Abbas pens are destroyed, crippling the enemy's naval capabilities.
In a desperate attempt to strike the U.S. carrier, the Fateh 110 launchers are deployed.
Target acquired. Launch the missiles now.
The Fateh 110 has launched. This is our final chance for survival.
The USS Gerald R. Ford detects an incoming ballistic missile threat.
Launch the countermeasures now. Intercept confirmed. Splash 1.
The SM-6 missile engages the target at extreme altitude. Utilizing a kinetic warhead, it successfully
Across the Alborz Mountains, the silence is absolute. Iran's air defense network has been neutralized.
Dawn breaks over the wreckage of Iran's Khojas. The rising sun casts long
The MV Aerial Star, once a titan of the seas, now lists dramatically in the heart of the Gulf.
The Poseidon crew maintains their search pattern.
We have a strong return. Bridge, recommend immediate deployment of sonobuoys.
This is the nervous system of the digital age, a complex web of light carrying the shared intelligence of our world.
They called her La Fuente, a ghost in the shadows, trading secrets, praying this one would buy her freedom.
By flooding the scope with phantom targets, the Ghost Loop successfully blinds the Iranian radar, rendering their defenses useless.
The
The MV Ariel Star, severely damaged but stable, is now just hours away from the safety of...
As dawn breaks over the Persian Gulf, the sheer scale of the Fifth Fleet becomes apparent.
Decades of isolation are washing away. The wall has fallen, and the clear light of the future breaks through. This stylized key represents the exploit, the singular mechanism that bypassed every layer of Iran's formidable defenses. After months of tireless work, the final metrics confirmed it. Operation Nightingale was a resounding success.
Target acquired. Launch the first wave now. No hesitation.
The IRGC commander gives the order.
The Tomahawk missile, guided by advanced intelligence, achieves pinpoint accuracy, neutralizing the target with extreme precision. The first rays of dawn illuminate the wreckage, exposing the buried weapons and the massive scale of the assault.
The audio features an English male voice, providing narration throughout the scene, speaking with a calm and measured tone.
In the strategic waters of the Persian Gulf, this fleet stands ready, a symbol of global reach and immediate response.
The operation began with an aggressive tanker attack. Early warning systems activated.
A sequence is defined by the seamless flow of interconnected events. From a single point of...
The strategic implications are clear. If we move too soon, we risk everything. We must wait for the opportune moment.
We have successfully infiltrated the primary network, initiating data corruption sequence. Target systems are now fully compromised.
The chains have snapped, and the shield of their perceived strength is shattered. The era of deterrence is over.
The MV Ariel Star, severely damaged in the attack, is finally being towed to port.
The Bavar 373 stands vigilant, scanning the skies. With Khordad 15 and Mersad batteries